Moving on to the next section in trigonometric function, that is solving problem based on inverse trigonometric function. We are not going to discuss the formulas which are based on this. You can just refer to your textbook for that. We'll be just directly taking the questions, and as we go along, I will be discussing the related formulas which you can apply over there. So let's concentrate on the first one, that is finding the principal value of cos inverse of this particular angle. Now whenever you have to find the principal value, you have to remember that what are the ranges in which I have to find the angle in. So recollecting the ranges for the functions, I will be having for cos, cot and sec, the range of the theta should be between 0 and pi. Next, you have to understand the thetas which you should get from these functions, that is my sine, tan and cosec, should be between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So understanding the angles for the functions, different functions, let us concentrate on the given thing. So for the principal value for my cos inverse, I have to understand that my theta should lie between 0 and pi. So if it has to lie between 0 and pi, so obviously my A option is removed from it because it's not possible to have a negative principal value for cos. Also the B option is removed, and if you check the 4 by 3, that's going to be something 1 point something of pi, so that is also removed from that option. So only option remaining is my D option. Next I have to find tan inverse of this particular thing. Now if you just see that my tan should be between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So I have to find those angles only. So in this I can take A because it's between that. I can take this particular angle, but I cannot take a minus 3 pi by 4 and 3 pi by 4. So I have to check which of these are going to be right. So for that I have to just concentrate on this. So let's write it. So I can write my tan of 3 pi by 4 as pi minus pi by 4. Now tan inverse of tan pi minus pi by 4 will have the value of tan inverse of minus tan pi by 4. From this my minus sign can be taken outside the tan inverse, which is the formula basically, and tan inverse of tan, now because the angle inside it is between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, so I can directly remove that tan and I will be having the answer as minus pi by 4. So your right option is C. Moving on to the next one, we have if tan inverse of x the whole square plus cot inverse of x the whole square is given as 5 pi square by 8, then what is going to be my value of x? Now in this particular sum, what you can do is you can just take that equation. So it's tan inverse of x the whole square plus cot inverse of x the whole square. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding on both the sides 2 tan inverse x cot inverse x. So you'll be getting a plus b the whole square, and on the other side you'll be having a 5 pi square by 8 plus, you can write this as plus 2 tan inverse x, and cot inverse can be written as pi by 2 minus tan inverse, because basically the formula is tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is pi by 2. So that is why we have brought this particular formula over here. So we are going to get it as pi square by 4. Let's take this on that side. So I'll be getting a 5 pi square by 8 minus of that is equal to, let's open this bracket. So I'm going to get a 2 tan inverse x into pi by 2. So that's going to be a pi minus 2 tan inverse x the whole square. So now solving that, I'll be getting it as 2 tan inverse x the whole square minus pi tan inverse x will be equal to, if I just solve this particular form, so I'll be getting after solving this as minus 3 pi square by 8. This thing will be equal to 0. Now you have this as quadratic equation in terms of tan inverse x. So I'll be using the formula for quadratic equation. So I'll be having a pi, this is my tan inverse, x will be equal to pi, that is minus b, plus minus root of b square, that is pi square, minus 4 into a into c. So 4 into a is my 2 into c, so that becomes a plus. So the 4 and 2 gets cancelled out, divided by 2a, so that's going to be a 4. So I'll be getting this value as, this thing will be a pi square plus 3 pi square. So that's going to be 4 pi square, so that's a 2 pi. So that's pi plus minus 2 pi divided by 4. So I'll be getting either the value as minus pi by 4 or it will be a 3 pi by 4. So now recollecting the principal value forms, I cannot take my 3 pi by 4 because it goes beyond the principal value range. So my tan inverse x can have the value of minus pi by 4. So basically my x will be tan of minus pi by 4, which is nothing but your option A, that is minus 1. Moving on to the next one, we have this particular equation. So what we will be doing is, let us take my tan inverse of 1 by 7 as some angle alpha and tan inverse of 1 by 3 as some other angle beta. So I'm having a cos of 2 alpha minus sine of 4 beta equals, I have to find this particular value. Now I am applying the double angle formulas. So my cos 2 alpha, I can write it as 1 minus tan square alpha divided by 1 plus tan square alpha. I have brought down this to tan because basically I have a tan inverse present in it. So by solving I can just get rid of that. So let me solve it. So this thing I can write it as 2 sine 2 beta into cos 2 beta. So that will be my sine 2 beta can be written in terms of tan as, so my sine 2 beta can be written as 2 tan beta upon 1 plus tan square beta, and my cos 2 beta, which is again same way, it can be written as 1 minus tan square beta upon 1 plus tan square beta. So now I have to just substitute the values because it's tan square alpha, which is nothing but your tan of alpha the whole square, and my alpha is nothing but value of tan inverse of 1 by 7 the whole square. So I can just substitute the value over there. So I'll be getting the values as 1 minus 1 by 49 divided by 1 plus 1 by 49 minus 2 into 2 tan of beta is 1 by 3, then 1 plus 1 by 9 into 1 minus tan square beta is having 1 by 9 divided by 1 plus 1 by 9. So you have to solve this particular equation. After solving, you will be getting the option as 0, that is C option. Moving on to the next problem, we have a tan of this particular thing. I have to find the value of that. So what I can do is, again I can take my cos inverse of 2 by root 5 as some value alpha. So I'll having a tan of alpha by 2. So I have to find my tan of alpha by 2. So my tan of alpha by 2, I can use the formula for that as root of 1 minus cos alpha upon 1 plus cos. So my cos alpha is nothing but, if I take the cos inverse on that side, I will be getting a 2 by root 5 as cos alpha. Substituting that value, I'll be getting this value as 1 minus 2 by root 5 divided by 1 plus 2 by root 5. Taking the LCM, I'll be getting a root 5 minus 2 divided by root 5 plus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rationalize the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by root of root 5 minus 2 divided by root of root 5 minus 2. So the denominator part, what you can see is it is basically a plus b, a minus b form. So it's going to be root 5 square, which is 5, and minus 2 square, which is 4. And in the numerator, since it's the same terms, it's going to be root 5 minus 2. So 5 minus 4 is 1 and root of that is 1. So that gets done with. So my final answer is root 5 minus 2, which is your option B. Moving on to the next question, they have given me y as something and I have to find my tan of pi by 4 minus y by 2. So let's consider this equation and let me take that root of tan alpha is some value beta. So I'll be having y equals a cos inverse of beta minus tan inverse of beta. Now I know that cot inverse of beta is nothing but a pi by 2 minus tan inverse beta. So that's going to be a 2 tan inverse beta. So I can take this side, so I'll be getting a 2 tan inverse beta is equal to pi by 2 minus y. Dividing throughout by 2, this becomes a pi by 4 divided by pi. So I can take the tan on this side, so that becomes a beta of tan pi by 4 minus y by 2. Sorry, this becomes a 2 because you are dividing by 2. So what you can see is this basically is what is asked. So that's going to be beta, and you had taken beta as root of tan alpha. So that's your answer. So that's your answer as B. Moving on to the next one, we have a tan inverse of x plus 1 plus tan inverse of x minus 1 equals tan inverse of 8 by 31, and I have to find what is going to be my x. Now you should know that tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is nothing but tan inverse of A plus B divided by 1 minus AB. So I'll be using that particular formula over here. So you should remember the formula as tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is given by a tan inverse of A plus B divided by 1 minus AB. So if you just apply that thing over here, you will be getting it as tan inverse of x plus 1 plus x minus 1 divided by 1 minus x plus 1 into x minus 1. So this thing is going to be equal to tan inverse 8 by 31. So solving this particular equation, you will be getting it as tan inverse of, the 1 gets cancelled, so it's going to be 2x upon 1 minus x square minus 1. So minus 1. So opening the bracket over there, so you will be getting it as a 1 minus x square plus 1. So that basically is nothing but a 2 minus x square. This thing will be equal to tan inverse of 8 by 31. So the tan inverse on both sides get nullified. So we'll be having a 2x upon 2 minus x square, which is equal to 8 by 31. If you just cross multiply, you will be getting it as 31x equals 8 minus 4x square. So solving that, so it's 4x square plus 31x minus 8 equals 0. So you have to find the value of x using your quadratic equation. So I'm getting these two values. If you check the option, it's going to be basically your D option, that is 1 by 4. We have to find the domain of the functions. So the first function is given to us, which is cube root of 1 minus 3x plus 3 cos inverse of this plus e raised to 3 tan x. So by domain it means that I have to find the values of x which I can substitute in the function without it becoming a non-defined function. Now if I just check out for this particular function, I can take any value of x without it becoming a non-defined function. And if I just check this particular also, I can take any value of x for it to not become a non-defined function. So I have to concentrate everything on this particular term, that is my cos inverse of 2x minus 1 by 3. My cos inverse can be between 0 and pi. So basically the angle which is present inside it, that is 2x minus 1 by 3, can be between anything between a 1 and minus 1. So if I just solve these two equations, I will be getting a 2x minus 1 should be greater than or equal to minus 3. So 2x greater than equal to minus 2, x should be greater than equal to minus 1. And along with it, I require to solve this too. So 2x minus 1 by 3 should be less than equal to 1. So 2x minus 1 should be less than equal to 3. 2x should be less than equal to 4 and x should be less than equal to 2. So both these conditions has to be satisfied. That means my x should be between minus 1 and 2. So that option is basically your A option. Since you are having the equal to sign present in it, you can take those two values. The square bracket basically indicates that you can take the values. Over here you are having a curly bracket, that means over here you are having the circular bracket, that means the values cannot be taken. Moving on to the next one, we have the function, and again we have to find the domain of this function. So let me concentrate. We have a root. I cannot have a negative term which is present inside it. So that means basically my sine inverse of log 2x should be something which is greater than or equal to 0. It cannot be a negative number. For the sine inverse also to be defined, should be greater than 0 but less than 1. Because if I substitute anything which is more than 1 in it, my sine inverse will not be defined for it. So it should be between 0 and 1 for my sine inverse. So now if I am taking anti-log on both sides or raising it for 2, so I am getting it as 2 raised to 0 less than or equal to 2 of log 2x less than 2. So this becomes a 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 2. So that's going to be basically your option D. So we are wrapping up with trigonometric function. I hope I am able to help you in your studies. So thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you all who have commented on the videos which we are doing. It is very inspiring for us to do more videos on it. So please stay tuned for those, and please be updated by subscribing to our channel if you are new to this channel. If you have any suggestions, you can just comment in the comment section below. Also, if you have any doubts related to any of the topics which we have not done, or any of the things or anything related to your MHCET mathematics, you can do it so in the comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe to our page and share it with your friends so that they are also helped with the videos which we are doing. So till then, thank you, take care, goodbye, and keep learning, keep watching, and happy learning.